Caitlin brought tens of millions of new viewers into the W, and there's no denying that impact. She's the most popular athlete in America.
I thought this marked a turning point for the WNBA, that the league had finally embraced Caitlin Clark and was ready to celebrate her and the millions of new fans helping to grow the game.
I was way off.
It only took one game to confirm that the problems facing the WNBA in 2024 aren't just still around. They've gotten even worse.
They want Caitlin Clark to be arrested.
The aftermath of the first Fever Sky matchup has been a PR nightmare for the league.
This is getting crazy. This is getting absolutely crazy.
Here's Commissioner Kathy Engelbert talking about the value of rivalries, specifically Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. According to her, players not being nice to each other is actually a good thing. It's what fans want: drama, intensity, storylines. That's what fuels engagement and drives growth for the league. Now, personally, I don't see Angel versus Caitlin as a true rivalry. Talent-wise, they're not even in the same stratosphere. But the numbers don't lie. Their matchups last year were among the most watched games in women's basketball. And this season, the WNBA leaned all the way in, scheduling them to play 5 times. In their first meeting of the season, Kathy got exactly what she asked for.
You need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
Angel Reese shoved Natasha Howard. Caitlin Clark responded with a hard foul. Angel got up, went after Caitlin, and just like that, the fireworks started. The moment exploded online. Clips went viral. It was chaos. It was drama. It was exactly what a rivalry game is supposed to deliver. At this point, I'm not even breaking down the play. From a pure bad blood perspective, mission accomplished. And after the game, both players downplayed it, called it just a basketball play, nothing more. Time to move on. You'd think that would be a huge win for the league. Caitlin Clark dropped a triple-double. Diana Taurasi moved up to third on the all-time scoring list, and the game pulled in 2.7 million viewers, the most watched regular season WNBA game since 2000. Yeah, back when frosted tips were still a thing. But this is the WNBA, and if there's one thing we've learned, it's that the W just can't have nice things. Because
this all has been blown out of proportion and now has morphed into a ongoing outrage cycle that continues every single time these two players do anything.
the reaction to the foul was completely over the top. What should have been seen as a routine, intense moment in a rivalry game, a hard foul in the heat of competition, quickly spiraled into something much darker, far beyond just analyzing the play. It stopped being about basketball and turned ugly fast. The attacks didn't just target Caitlin Clark, they also went after Fever players who had the audacity to stand by their teammate. When Angel Reese went after Caitlin, anyone who defended Clark had their character, intentions, even their motivations questioned, all for backing up a teammate in a high-stakes moment. Even Angel Reese added fuel to the fire, reposting a TikTok, mocking Caitlin Clark as a white girl running away from confrontation. And anyone who criticized Angel? They became open targets. When RG3 commented that Angel seemed to have a real issue with Caitlin, Ryan Clark clapped back, essentially suggesting that RG3 only sided with Caitlin because his wife is white. What should have been a passionate sports moment turned into something personal, racial, and divisive, fast. And it shifted away from being about sports and became something personal, toxic, and honestly quite embarrassing for a league that's trying to grow. This was exactly the kind of hate and unsafe environment the WNBA said it wanted to combat with its No Space for Hate campaign. You would think this would be the moment for the league to step up and protect its players. And guess what? They launched an investigation. But it wasn't about any of this. The league launched an investigation into what was labeled as hateful behavior in the arena. Players issued statements, teams rolled out carefully crafted PR responses, and everyone rushed to condemn hate right away. But here's the question no one seems willing to ask. Did anyone actually listen? Many have speculated that the WNBA only took action because of Twitter comments, people claiming they heard things at the game. But something about this whole situation feels off. Let's start with one of the biggest allegations. That monkey? Noises were played over the loudspeakers while Angel Reese was shooting free throws. That's a serious claim. But the question is, did that really happen? As for any other comments that might have justified an investigation, Clark and the Fever said they didn't hear anything when asked directly. They were unaware of any inappropriate fan behavior. Tyler Marsh, the Sky's head coach, also confirmed he didn't hear anything. So yeah, these allegations seem to have come from X posts, anonymous claims with no names, no sources, and no evidence made public. And honestly, I'm no criminal investigator, but it doesn't seem likely they'll find anything. Many analysts agree. It feels like the league is chasing shadows, reacting to viral tweets rather than verified facts. The problem now is that not only do people doubt they'll find anything, but there's also no sign the league will reach a clear conclusion anytime soon. Here's the big problem, and why it feels like the league keeps tripping over itself. When official action is taken based on nothing more than unverified Twitter posts, it opens a dangerous door. Now anyone can make a false claim or say they heard something, and without a need for proof, it becomes impossible to disprove and even harder to manage. When an investigation is launched immediately and publicly, and teams begin issuing official statements, most people's minds are already made up. No matter what the investigation uncovers or doesn't, it becomes accepted as fact in the eyes of the public. They may not find anything, and honestly, they might never say another word about it. But by now, the damage is done. Indiana Fever fans have been unfairly labeled as hateful based on anonymous posts, not verified facts. Suddenly, the arena that was once filled with record-breaking passionate supporters is being portrayed as unsafe. This is the narrative that's taken hold. That conditions in Indiana are somehow unsafe, and that the fans, who showed up in record numbers, lined up hours early, and helped deliver one of the most watched games in league history, are now being unfairly branded as a problem. All of this is based on a storyline built on speculation. If the league remains silent or admits they found nothing, it will be a terrible look for the WNBA as an organization and almost impossible to undo.